So when Krishna says he is the strength of the strong, he is the intelligence of the intelligence, he is the ability in man, that we should never think ourselves the doer of our actions. We should understand that we are empowered by Krishna, either directly or through his material nature. But we are all depending on his powers. When we think any of the borrowed powers that Krishna gives us are ours, that is the source of all frustration and suffering. But when we actually humble ourselves and understand it belongs to Krishna, I'm just the instrument of Krishna, and we give all credit, all glory to Krishna, that is a state of being liberated. That is a state by which Krishna can manifest himself through us in miraculous ways. To spread Krishna consciousness is not just a matter of managerial abilities or scholarly learning. To actually be empowered by Krishna is a matter of sincerely taking shelter of him. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, in his life in this world, he was just a simple grain merchant. He wasn't even really very literate. But he took shelter of Krishna, his spiritual master, and the holy names. He became so powerful. All the essence of the conclusions of all the scriptural knowledge was right there on his tongue. Even though at one time at the elderly part of his life he was practically blind, he could see Krishna. He could see everything Krishna wanted him to know. And even great persons like Bhakti Vinod Thakur and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur were longing to be enlightened by his association. So the power of Krishna comes to those who really, in a spirit of desperate need, with all humility, they take shelter with sincere heart. Prabhupada in his prayers on Jaladuta, he's praying for this power. That I have no words. If you give me the words to speak, then they will understand. And Krishna gave him the words to speak. And even people who couldn't understand his words, their hearts were transformed just by the sound vibration. Incredible. People surrender to Krishna without even properly understanding Prabhupada's words. Just the sound of his voice transformed their hearts. Because he was so absorbed in Krishna. He was taking shelter of Krishna. Actually, with the same shelter that Arjuna approached Krishna, with the same desperation and need that Parikshit Maharaj approached Sukadeva Goswami, with the same desperation and need that Dhruva Maharaj approached his mother, that was the desperation and need in which Srila Prabhupada wrote those prayers in the Jaladuta. But his desperation and need was not born of his own personal spiritual requirements, but was his compassion to others. He saw the suffering of society due to ignorance of Krishna, and he felt such an intense, desperate need to help them, that like Arjuna, like Parikshit, like Dhruva, he was crying out, Krishna, I'm nothing, please help me. Not speak to me, speak through me. Change their hearts. And because he prayed with such intense mood of shelter, Krishna spoke through him. He became transparent via medium.
You were listening to Radhanath Swami on devotionalnectar.com.